Hello, and welcome to a special episode of the Stress Knits podcast. My name is Stacy, also known as Stress Knits Yarn on Instagram and Stress Knits over on Ravelry. I'm coming to you from southeast Michigan, Metro Detroit, and it's pretty rainy, so that's interesting, I guess. Like I said, today is a special episode of the podcast. This is not a normal episode. Usually I'm bringing to you what I'm working on, if I have anything finished, what my dream knitting is, but instead I'm going to talk to you today about color inspiration. So this video is brought to you by my patrons over on Patreon, who are amazing and have been supporting me financially, which is just so helpful. I can't even explain to you how much that helps my family. So if you're interested in content like this and you want more of it, head over to Patreon, and even donating as little as $1 just makes the world of difference. So yeah, that's that. So this video has been in the works for a while. This is something that I've been playing with in my head for months, but I've really gotten serious about it the past 2 weeks. I've been thinking of content I can bring to you during quarantine, and I'm just really excited to do this. So I'm sitting in front of my wall of stock. It looks a little empty and a little frayed because I just took pictures with my husband for the shop update that is happening on Monday, tomorrow. So this I'm filming on Sunday, April 19th, 2020, and my shop update is Monday, April 20th, 2020 at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you're interested, but this is not to make you buy yarn, this is not to entice you, this is just to give you ideas, talk about what I'm loving, talk about projects that I have been enjoying putting color combinations together for customers. And if you want to take this information and buy from my shop, that is amazing, but also you can take this information and purchase from another indie dyer or another yarn company, because there are so many amazing indie dyers out there that this applies to everybody. So I have a very specific color palette. I like pastels and I like fall tones. Like that's really my shtick. That's what I like. So a lot of the color combinations that I'm going to give you are very much in that wheelhouse. Yeah, so I'm super excited about this. So again, please take these color combinations and support your favorite yarn companies and your favorite indie dyers, because this is a very stressful time for all of us, right? But that's not what this is about. This is about colors that are inspiring me, projects that are inspiring me, and color combinations I want to play with. Color combinations that just kind of came to me because of how yarn was sitting in the shelves or in a bin or while I was dyeing them, and stuff just kind of started coming together. So the first part of this video, we are going to talk about specific patterns. I have I have 4 specific patterns that I'm going to give color combinations for with those patterns in mind. Now, I only have a few of them because I'm not gonna lie to you, my brain likes certain colors together, and once I find a color combination that I really love, I love to put it into everything, which is something I think you'll notice. So those will be very specific to the patterns, and I'll also show you the bases that I recommend for it and all that. And then I have color combination ideas for 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors, and 5 color projects. So I have 3 pages of notes. If you see me looking down, that is what I'm looking at. Yeah, so let's get into it. The first color combination that I'm going to go through is for a shawl. Now, the Vertices Unite by Stephen West has been around for a long time. Also, I will be linking all of these patterns in the show notes below, which you can find in the description box, as well as linking my Patreon and my shop in case you are interested in those things, but there's no obligation, none whatsoever. So, yes, links to all the patterns on Ravelry will be in the description box. So Vertices Unite has been around for a while. This has been on my I need to knit this list for probably 2 years now. I have all of my yarn wound. I'm doing a pink Vertices Unite. I'm very excited about it. But it's been popping up a lot lately. I know Sandy by the Lakeside started one. Sue of Legacy Fiber Arts has started one. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of people wanting to knit this, and I was inspired to knit this by Amy of Stranded Dye Works, or the Stranded podcast. So, my ideas for the Vertices Unite is a 5-color shawl, which always feels a little bit daunting. Yeah, it always just feels a little, 5 colors is a lot to put together. But recently I have come up with a color combination that I love very much. It's actually this mini set behind me, and now they're in full skeins. So one color combination is this. So it is, I don't know, it feels kind of like a 70s rainbow, if that makes sense. This is what I call my rainbow. So we start with Rust Belt, which is a rusty orange, Golden Hour, which is just a golden yellow, Palm Lines, a barely there pink, My Jam, a brighter pink, and Pillow Mint, a bright mint. So this is one idea. So the way that I would do this is I would find what color is supposed to be the I-cord border, because there is an entire border of I-cord around the entire shawl. And I would put Rust Belt on the border. So that would designate this as a certain letter in the pattern. So color A, B, C, D, and E. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but that's what I would do for this. And I would also make sure that these two are together. This is my personal preference. So that's usually how I plan bigger shawls, especially when they're kind of all over the place and the colors, it's not like you're fading. So I look at the colors in the pattern and I go, okay, where he has a lime green, I want the Rust Belt. Where he has a neon yellow, you know what, I like that, I'm gonna put my yellow there. That's how I go with that. Do you ever start sentences and not know where you're gonna finish? Because it's happening to me a lot lately. Yes, so this is my first color combination for Vertices Unite. The second Vertices Unite color combination I'm really excited about, because it actually is the one color combination I have for the second pattern, so I'm going to give these to you at the same time. And the second pattern is City Limits by Tanis of Tanis Fiber Arts, who is also an amazing indie dyer, and I think she's doing kits for that sweater. But this is a color combination that I put together for a customer of mine, and I love it. So this is much more of a subtle, it's a subtle color combination, which is something that I really like. And it's also my favorite, which is mint and pink. So my two favorite colors, and I like to put them together as much as possible. So let me grab, I have all of my yarn all around me, so I'm going to be picking some stuff up and reaching from time to time. So we have, where are you? Here you are. didn't grab that one. 1 second. Okay. Whew. I thought I grabbed everything and I did not. What 2 colors am I missing? Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is the second color combination for Vertices Unite and the only color combination that I have in my head for City Limits. So we have Dusk, which is it's a pinky purple swirled kind of color. This is actually from my Advent 2019. And then Grubby, I Smell Snow, which I tend to use a lot to get from pink to mint. And then from I Smell Snow, No Trail to Follow, and finishing it off with Pillow Mint. So here is that color combination. I love this color combination. Yeah, it's just subtle and beautiful. And if you watch the podcast, you know how much I love pink to mint fades. So this is kind of my obvious choice. So I love this. Actually, No Trail to Follow was not what I was going to do for City Limits. I was actually going to do Eucalyptus, but I think Pillow Mints also works really well. Eucalyptus is much more of a true green, whereas Pillow Mint is a bluey minty green, in case you're wondering those differences. Now, I know what you're thinking, Stacy, City Limits says you should use mohair or suggests mohair. So what mohair would I put with this beautiful color combination? I'm gonna bring Pillow Mint back, because I actually really like this. I would use Bell Jar. Bell Jar is a beautiful swirl of colors. There's peach and green and mint and pink, and I think it's just the perfect color to tie all of these together. You could also use Palm Lines mohair or Pillow Mint mohair. It would all work really well together. So there are those patterns. Let me put some yarn back so I know where to find it. The next 2 are 2 that I really want to cast on. They're 2 that I'm very, very excited about, and they play with texture, which I think is super fun. And they're both by Andrea Mowry. And again, if you watch the podcast, you know how much I love her. So the first one is the pink velvet sweater. It's been around for a little bit, maybe 2 months, 3 months, and it's stunning. So my first color combination is Perfectly Adequate, which is just a perfect run-of-the-mill gray paired with My Jam Surrey Alpaca. And honestly, I think this would be my color combination if I were to knit this. I really, really love it. Another color option would be Mountain Mama, which is a dark foresty kind of green, and Eucalyptus. Another color combination would be Grubby as the main color and Palm Lines as the contrast Surrey up here. Now you don't have to use Surrey, you could use another skein of fingering. This is my favorite base. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's my favorite base, which is why it's called that. I think it is incredibly versatile for shawls, socks, sweaters, hats, everything. So you could also do that if you're not a fan of the fuzz, or you could hold mohair double if you have issues with alpaca. just putting that out there for people who haven't heard that. So yes, grubby and palm lines. And last but not least, perfectly adequate again with dusk, which also is just such a beautiful, airy color combination. So those are some ideas for that. That one is a lot of fun to play around with because you could also do something kind of shocking. So you could do like pillow mint and do golden hour. That could be really fun. You could do rust belt and bell jar. That could be really cool. Or you could reverse it and do bell jar as your main color and rust belt as your Surrey. So I think that's a really fun thing to play around with and really experiment. Yeah, so that is the Pink Velvet Sweater by Andrea Mowry, and the last pattern that we're going to talk about specifically is Vintage 83, which is Andrea Mowry's newest pattern. It is a cropped tee, very vintage inspired, I guess. And this one is super fun because I did not love it the second it came out, but the more I dyed Surrey, the more I looked at it, the more I wanted to knit it. So I have my color combination and another color combination. So I'm going to show you the second combination that I came with first, which is perfectly adequate as the main color, and then ooh, I forgot what it was. So perfectly adequate, so nice simple gray, and then this would be your contrast brioche stripes here. So there are brioche stripes in the yoke that use Surrey alpaca. My base is called Cloud, in case you were wondering. And this is the color combination I would choose. I think I would ground it in yellow, or maybe even sandwich the golden hour in the middle, but I want this way. So for me, I would choose my jam closest to my face, pillow mint in the middle, and golden hour to anchor it at the bottom, and this would be my main color. And now my color combination that I think I'm going to use when I decide to knit this, I think it actually might be my next cast on. I'm going to use Palm Lines, which is again just a very barely there pink. Yeah, it's just so, there it is. And then I'm going to do this. So it is Pillow Mint, Golden Hour, and Rust Belt. So this is how it will sit in here. I think this is what I'm going to do, but I also really like the other color combination. So we will see where I land. I really, really love this. So that is a lot of fun. So now let's talk about just random color combinations that I really love right now. So while I was making this list, I realized that I really enjoy two color combination. It's my favorite. I think it's also the easiest, but I do have a few ideas for larger color needs. So let's first talk about two colors. The first one I have is Eucalyptus and Dusk. Now these two sat next to each other in my advent. I think they would make a beautiful brioche shawl, or a colorwork sweater even. But again, it's just a pinky purple kind of color with a nice green that kind of is minty but not really. I don't know really how to describe it. It's just, this is my perfect midline green. So Dusk and Eucalyptus. No Trail to Follow and Grubby. These two are also just made for each other. And usually when I have fades or groups of colors, if I have Grubby in one, I usually have No Trail to Follow as another, or vice versa. I absolutely love these together, and I love that they have the dark gray speckles throughout both of them. I don't know, they just feel like sisters to me, and I love them very much. And again, mint and pink are my two favorite colors, so it's really easy for me to put those together all of the time. Next is My Jam and Pillow Mint. Now this is a very similar combination to Grubby and No Trail to Follow, but these are brighter, and again, I love them. When I made my What the Fade, which is Andrea Mowry's Brioche and Garter fade, these were my two anchors. I faded from My Jam to Pillow Mint, and yeah, I love them. Next is Mountain Mama and Eucalyptus. I love it. I love pairing colors that are in the same family together, but at different, I almost said densities, that's not the right word, but different vibrancies. So I love a dark green and a light green, a dark pink and a light pink, a dark gray and a light gray. I love doing that a lot. Here's that, because it also, for me, it makes it feel like something's more wearable, and it makes it feel just a little bit more, I don't know, elevated, I guess. It just feels like they were, no, it just feels like they were supposed to be together because they're of the same color family. I think hue is the word I was looking for. Next is I'm so excited about this. So this one, this color combination I came across by accident. They were together, and it's my new colorway, Where Does the Good Go, on Favorite and My Jam together. Again, this could be really fun in color work if you use My Jam as the main color and Where Does the Good Go as contrast. Because this is a variegated colorway, it'll make the contrast color kind of pop. So that's super fun. Next is SSDGM and Mountain Mama. So SSDGM is another fun speckled colorway paired with Mountain Mama. Super good. Golden Hour and Pillow Mint. Again, I love these. And Rust Belt and Palm Lines. But you could also do Golden Hour and Palm Lines and Rust Belt and Pillow Mint. I've already talked about this, but Perfectly Adequate and My Jam go really, really well together. Love it. I'm going to say I love it for a lot of these because I do. And then last but not least, for two color options that I've come to off the top of my head are Betty, which is just a really beautiful light blue, and Sweet Disposition. Yes. So those are my two color combination ideas. The next is three color, and I don't know why, but three color I struggle with just a little bit. So the first one is Where Does the Good Go, with Pillow Mint and My Jam. Both of these colors are in this colorway, and so I think this would be really, really fun, like a three-color shawl or a sweater. You could even just stripe this, or This could even be a fun sock kit idea down the road. There's that. The next one is Betty, Perfectly Adequate, and Palm Lines. I should put those in the way that I said them. I don't know why holding up yarn at once is really hard, but it is. I really, really love this color combination. It's just subtle and light and airy. It feels very springy to me. That. And the last one that I have is for those of you who are not pink fans. So hard. My hands are very tiny. So this is Pillow Mint, Eucalyptus, and Mountain Mama. Okay, so those are 3 color combinations. For 4 color combinations, I have this is actually what I used for my Mackworth pullover by Andrea Mowry. So my main color was Perfectly Adequate, and Pillow Mint, Mountain Mama, and Palm Lines were my contrast colors. So this is I really love this color combination. This color combination is actually inspired by Jacqueline Salem, who is Brooklyn Knit Folk. She did an exploration station in very similar colors, and I copied her exploration station and did mine in those very similar colors. And then when I was picking out colors for my Mackworth, I saw all 4 of these together, and it reminded me of that color palette, and it made me really, really happy. So this is a Jacqueline inspired color palette, and I really love it. And then the other 4 color that I have, if you want to add something that has a little more variegation to it, I have Bell Jar. And that's another thing that I really like to do, is I'll take a variegated or speckled colorway and I'll look at it and I will say, okay, this colorway has pink, it has mint, it has peach, it has green. What colors can I put with this that will bring it out and kind of tie everything together? So I have mint and a pink, and then I always, gray is my neutral, so if I ever need an extra colorway, I like to throw Perfectly Adequate into it because it just helps tie everything together. I really love this color combination. Oh, that's really pretty. So that is my 4, but you can do a lot. Like, this is also one, so Perfectly Adequate, Palm Lines, Eucalyptus, and Betty could be really pretty together. Yeah, so it's one of those things where I like to just pull, I don't know. It's like if we do SSDGM, could do My Jam, Perfectly Adequate, because again, it's just such an easy colorway to pair with everything. And then Eucalyptus maybe, or you could even throw in Mountain Mama, because the speckles in here, this color is in there. So that could be really fun. Yeah, so let's go to colors of 5. So I've talked about this combination at the beginning, but it's worth repeating because I love it so much. And it is my rainbow skeins. It is it's just My Jam, Golden Hour, Palm Lines, Pillow Mint, Rust Belt. These 5, I really love them together. So there's that. And then I'm going to show you these on Halo, because that is where I found this color combination. These were all sitting next to each other, and I thought it was gorgeous. So Perfectly Adequate, My Jam, Pillow Mint, Betty, and Palm Lines. I am obsessed with this. This would also be a beautiful Vertices Unite. I don't know, it just makes me so happy. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, you just have to find colors that you love, pull colors out of variegated or speckle skeins, and don't be afraid to put things together that might not necessarily go together. For example, Chelsea of Legacy Fiber Arts and Chelsea Makes and all of that wonderful stuff, she did a road trip shawl out of these two colorways. She used Bell Jar and Sweet Disposition. Now these two colorways I would never put together, but they work really well together. So if you like two things that have similar colors, just go for it and see if it works. Yeah, and just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to add a pop of color. So if you want to use something, again, I'm just going to use this kind of thing. Okay. So here we have Pillow Mint, Perfectly Adequate, and Palm Lines. But you can throw something a little crazy in the mix and it kind of works, right? Oh, I really like this color. This is my Mackworth. I was like, oh, I really like these colors. Oh, yes. So yeah, I don't know if this is helpful at all. It was super fun for me, so I hope it was fun for you. What color combinations do you like? What do you look for when you're shopping for a project? One thing you can always do is go to Ravelry and check out other people's projects of that pattern that you want to make and look at color combinations that stand out to you, and you can tweak them to be more you, or look at, I don't know, just look at the world around you, right? And find color combinations that are inspiring you. Go to Pinterest and look at color palettes, favorite podcasters, what are they working with, what stands out to you, and take that with you when you are shopping for yarn, and just find what makes you happy. I think color is such a fun way to brighten your mood and feel good. So once you find colors that really make you feel good, I hope that you can knit with them and put them into a project that you will love wearing or looking at for years to come. So that's it for this. I hope that you got something out of it, or at least were entertained for a half an hour. I will be back next week with a regular podcast. Again, my shop update is tomorrow, Monday, April 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern. I hope you can make it, but again, that is not the purpose of this video. Purpose of this video is just to give you ideas and to hopefully inspire you, and you can take that to your favorite indie dyer, if it's me or someone else, and shop their yarn. So I hope you are having a good weekend. I will talk to you next time. Bye.